Is Kitchens taking too much heat?
No, he's not. He deserves it. But I say that with respect because I happen to believe that the guy is going to end up doing a good job. I told y'all before the season, second-year quarterback, first-year head coach. I said that's going to show itself. And that's what we're seeing. You got four chances at getting in the end zone. First to go, second to go, third to go, fourth to go. Not one time do you look for Odell Beckham Jr., your number one option? Really? You don't do that? 6 pre-snap penalties. That's on you. Baker Mayfield, your second-year quarterback, running for his life, scrambling out of the pocket, 10, 15, 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, just running for his life from Aaron Donald and the crew. That's problematic. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and then you take into account some of the things that people were lamenting about, and I don't know this, you know this better than me because we're watching from the periphery, and then we look in the preseason, and people were talking about how they weren't practicing enough, getting enough reps in, guys were taking rest, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the problem with that. If you're a Jarvis Landry, I understand. You're Odell Beckham Jr., unless you're injured, no excuse. And I know sometimes he was hurt during the preseason, but there's no excuse because at the end of the day, you need to be out there repping with Baker Mayfield, particularly when we see you on video catching passes from Colin Kaepernick. You've got Baker Mayfield out there. You're a second-year quarterback. So in other words, you're a starting quarterback, and you don't want to subject him to a potential injury, but at somehow, somewhere, you've got to work in the work. The repetition. And so what we're finding is that they're trying to find a rhythm. They're trying to feel themselves or whatever. But you knew coming in, because you were a first-year coach, he was a second-year quarterback, you had a new number one option in Odell Beckham Jr. He was vibing with Jarvis Landry. Nick Chubb still wanted to get his. And Njoku was there before he went down with the wrist injury. He was going to be up in the mix. You had offensive linemen, particularly with Zeitler gone. You were going to have to find a way to just mesh things. There were a lot of moving parts that you needed to adjust to. You didn't prioritize that, possibly in the interest of health. This is the residue of that. And all I'm saying is I believe he'll get it together. I believe they'll be better. But based off of what our expectations were and what we've seen the first 3 weeks of the season, you could make a legitimate argument that the reason why their record is what it is because of those coaching mistakes, as opposed to being bereft of talent. Obviously, that is not their problem.
All right, look, I'm going to save the analysis of what's happened on the field to the expert. Let me just say, legitimate points, because Kitchens, like when you see that many penalties, that's discipline, that's coaching. It's the first thing you thought against the Titans, right? Like 180 or whatever it was to set the record. When you see a draw play, 4th and 9, from that position on the field with plenty of time left in a close game in the fourth quarter, if it doesn't work, you're an idiot. I get that. You can tell me about that stuff. I'll say this. This is not unanticipated. The only bad thing so far that you were like, like in terms of the result, was the beating at the hands of the Titans at home week 1. But when I saw that, I thought they were going to have a successful season. I thought the over-under for wins for them was 9. I would take the over and take them at 10 before the season started. But I thought it would be an uphill climb. When you get a new coach with a new team, you said second-year quarterback, rookie head coach, and you have change on the offensive line. Don't forget, Zeitler was an excellent pass-blocking guard, was part of that deal for Odell Beckham Jr., the expanded deal just happened first, right? You can expect a slow start. Now, but really look at what are we talking about with this slow start? Really, I think the impression of the Browns is we see the schedule at Ravens, at Niners, who are better than expected, hosting Seattle, at Patriots. Oh, my God, where are they going to find a win, right? But look at what happened so far. Okay, first game of the season, disaster. At home, getting shellacked by the Titans. That's bad, no doubt. Next game, they beat the Jets. On the road, worse than the Patriots beat the Jets at home, by the way, right? And they just lost close to the Rams? That's really what we're saying, that this is like, so if Baker Mayfield doesn't bail on the last play of the game and finds a receiver in the end zone, which is entirely possible, right? If he doesn't do that, who knows? They could beat the Rams in overtime. They're sitting on 2-1 with a win over the Rams. But because he bails on that last play, the sky is falling.
He's not taking too much heat because you're attaching it to some kind of long-term deal with him. No, we're in the moment. And in the moment, you have a right to judge. This is how you've looked the first 3 games. As it comes to you, it's okay to say on the show that you just agree with me. It's all right. It's all right, because that's what you just did.
I agree
but that's
with
okay.
you.
Well, I appreciate that. But I got a question. But I got a question for you in all seriousness. Should we be looking at the Cleveland Browns from this perspective? Greg Williams did a damn good job considering the circumstances. We haven't brought that up enough. He did a damn good job. And when you take that into consideration, is it not true that a legitimate argument can be made that the only reason why Freddie Kitchens got this job, and again, I wish him luck, and I think that he'll end up doing a good job, but can a legitimate argument be made the only reason he got this job was because he had a good rapport with Baker Mayfield?
Well, of course. That's right. But that's how the NFL lives right now.
But what I'm saying,
they want the next McVay Goff.
But I'm getting to the bigger point. Don't you both, and I'll address you first, of course, don't you both have a problem with that? In other words, I have a good relationship. I have a good rapport with the quarterback. Well, it's easy to have a good rapport with him when you ain't the head coach. But when you're the head coach, there's an elevated level of responsibility.
Sure. I mean, do I have a problem with it? No, because it's who you know, not what you know in the world, right? We all know that.
But I'm just talking about in terms of getting the most out of your quarterback when you change your role.
Sure. The problem with everyone tying everything to McVay and Goff is people have so undervalued the leader that Sean McVay is. He's not just an X's and O's guy. Right. And I love the fact that Freddie Kitchens has owned this and says it's on me. So the question now is like, does he give up play calling? And my thing is like,
the Greg Williams as head coach point may be right. Time will tell, but it's way too early to throw Kitchens out. It's your job to have your team ready to play in situations.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.